A12. I am out here at Clover Cliff Ranch, being the guests of very dear friends Warren and Susie Harshman, so thankful for them. And I'm out here once again violating all the rules of videography with the sun right in my eyes, and I've got to squint and all that, but at least the wind isn't blowing today. I actually shot a video from this exact spot a month ago, and in a minute I'm going to show you the footage of that. But just look behind me at this lush green amazing prairie. I love it. May, the prairie in May is when it's at its most beautiful. It's like a lush green carpet. I just absolutely love it out here. It is breathtaking. I just can't imagine that Ireland is any better than this, that Emerald Island. I don't know. I've never been there. We'll have to ask the Finleys about that. Perhaps they can leave a comment on the Facebook page on the video. But just love this place. And again, actually, I just want to take a minute. I'm going to go back to a portion of the video I shot here a month ago, and I just want you to pay attention to the stark contrast between what this looked like then, a few days after their burn, and what it looks like now, a month after the burn. Here, we came out last night and we're looking at this, and you know, they've done the burns lately, probably this week if you're up close looking at it, and it's pretty stark looking over there. And isn't it amazing the difference between right after the burn and then a month later? It still doesn't cease to amaze me what that does for the prairie. So that's all to set up a video I actually shot 6 weeks ago when Kieran and I went out into the Flint Hills to shoot a different Saturday video, footage that I never used but have been hanging on to. And so that's all to set up what I want you to see right now. Funny, but the reality is I think it does feel a little bit like God has stripped a lot of things away from us that I think were a distraction to us from Him, that was a distraction to our culture. And just like behind me right now, that the fires came through here and burned away a lot of stuff that was a hindrance to future growth. And you guys know this all well out here. In a week, this is going to start becoming lush green again. And so let's always remember that anytime God allows something into our lives that is hard and difficult, that frequently what He's doing is He's burning off the extra things in our lives that actually keep us from growing the way He wants. So let us continue to live faithfully for Him. Let us really dig into those spiritual disciplines to take advantage of this time of being stripped of some of the things that kept us distracted. Let us really drill down into Him during this time. Look, right here is a section of land that was burned off probably a week ago, and already it's starting to come back, and look at the green that's appearing. And it just reminds me that if I'll let God, whenever He allows something to burn through my life, to strip some things away, keep me from walking with Him, that what's coming, if I'll live into that and lean into Him, that He will always bring new life and new things out of it. And that's what I love about this Easter week that's coming up, is it reminds me that even when we go through difficulty, when we go through a Good Friday, so to speak, that there's always resurrection happening around the corner, because that's the kind of God that He is. We never really planned to be out here 6 weeks after that video I shot way back, or a month after the one, but we are here, I think by God's sovereignty, to be able to use that video and put a wrap up on it. So if you read anything or know anything about the prairie burns and the fires, there's really 3 important things they do. They kill that dead plant growth that allows space and room for the new grasses to grow. By doing that, they add nutrients to the soil, and they actually kill non-native plant species that get in here, species that don't have the deep root structure that's necessary to grow in the Flint Hills. And so really all of this is, and especially just looking behind this, really illustrates to me what God can do in our lives through His refining fire, if we will work with Him on that. And that's always so hopeful to me, that that's really what He's trying to do in my life. And just, I want to come back to wrap up to that whole idea that those non-native species don't have the deep root structure to survive the burns. If you go to the Prairie Preserve and their little museum, I find it really fascinating that the native grasses here, their roots go like 6 or 7 feet deep. It is like so amazing to me how deep they go. And it just reminds me of the necessity to keep our roots deeply planted in God, that is the only way we really survive the prairie fires that come into our lives, the things that He allows to allow new growth. So I just want to challenge you, keep your roots deep in Him, even now as we're kind of coming out of this. And because if we do that, we will be a community of people who exhibit greater levels of faith and hope. We will be people who more embody the way of Jesus and more embody His love and His joy and His peace. And if we allow God to have that work in our lives, we will be a people who do not live in a spirit of fear, but we live in a spirit and with a spirit of power and of love and self-control. All right, I'm going to leave off now. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I am going to add at the very end of this a little bit of footage of the beauty of this Flint Hills and what has happened because of the prairie burns here, some of my favorite locations out here to end up. So we'll see you online tomorrow morning. Hopefully in a few weeks we'll see you face to face.